Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A minute ago I uploaded a video on Kherson where the Russians shelled Kherson Oblast, Kherson City and Odessa last night after the Ukrainians evacuated about 802 children according to the Ukrainians and 31 settlements. I will show you the videos I posted in the past regarding the issue where I think the Russians will advance and push the front towards the west. They will break the front. I have a lot of articles that I covered in my videos in the past maybe week and a half. And now I will cover the situation in Bakhmut, where again things turn to worse for the Ukrainians as they turned in Kherson. So let me show you first the articles, the videos that I covered. All right, here they are. Ukraine front collapsing, and this was on the 29th of October. Ukraine announces mandatory evacuation of children from Kupiansk. Now, Kupiansk, mind you, is right here in the north, right here. And then the next one is Ukrainians orders mandatory evacuation in Kharkiv Oblast on October 28th, 25. So we go to Kharkiv is right here, Kharkiv. So from this area, so again, they are ordering evacuation from here. And then you have the next one, the Russians Russia advances in Kherson. Ukraine orders mandatory evacuation of 802 children from 23 settlements. And again, this was October 23rd. So they're talking about this area right here. This is Kherson right here, this area. And then we have another one, Ukraine orders mandatory evacuation in 31 settlements in Kherson Oblast. So that is, again, in the south, right here. Now we're going to talk about here, evacuations in Bakhmut, which is Artemovsk, which is right here. Oh, okay. It's right here, Artemovsk. They don't even care anymore, but here it is. You see this little thing? I don't know if it's going to get that far. Usually it does, but not anymore. That little thing over there, that's where the we're going to focus today. That's Artemovsk or Bakhmut in Ukrainian. So this is, and I'm going to go to this article from Ukrinform, today, the 30th of October 2023. Russians significantly reinforce their grouping, start active operations in Bakhmut area, Syrsky. Now, active operations meaning offensive operations, not active, because you're active when you're on the defensive, you're active when you're on offensive. But they said start active operations, and I'm going to say here in Bakhmut area or of Donetsk region, the Russian invaders have significantly reinforced their grouping and switched from defensive to active operations. No, to offensive. That's how it's either or is nothing, no. But they say active. You're active in defense, you're active in offense. So when I say switch from defense, not to active, defense to offensive. But this offense. But this is the way you make propaganda, right? And then we have here, again from Ukrinform, the same date, 82 children evacuated from Donetsk region. And they say another 82 children have been evacuated from the Donetsk region's Bakhmut and Pokrovsk districts. Remember, Bakhmut right here, Artemovsk. Pam, pam, pam. Here it is. So from this area, they are moving again the children. That means they are ready for the Russians switching from defensive to active. So in the defensive, they were inactive. They're just playing cards, drinking some vodka. Now they're active all of a sudden. What does that mean? Switched. So my friends, you're inactive in defense? No, you're active, you're fighting, but this is propaganda. So let's go back to the first article, from switched from defense to active. According to Syrsky, the Russian army is particularly active in the area of Kupiansk, where they are attempting to advance in several directions as one. Remember these videos I made right here? Ukrainian front collapsing. All right, and that's Kupiansk right here, the same here, Kharkiv, Kherson. They are on the road, unfortunately for the Ukrainians. And then go to Kupiansk. He's talking about Kupiansk now, which is north of Bakhmut, right here. You see that little thing here? This is what Syrsk is talking about. And here is Kupiansk. The city of Kupiansk is right here, Kupiansk. So that's Kupiansk. And then you got, right here, you got Artemovsk or Bakhmut. Let's go back to the article here. So it says, according to Syrsk, the Russian army is particularly active in the area of Kupiansk. Not only they are in Kherson, where I just covered that in a previous video this morning, where they are attempting to advance in several directions at once. And I'm quoting, with such actions, the Russians are trying to stop the movement of the defense forces. The enemy is suffering heavy losses and cannot achieve its goals. Okay, the commander noted. What is he going to say? We're losing? According to Syrsk, the situation in the east remains difficult. It is difficult or dynamic. These are the euphemisms these guys are using when they talk about we're fucked. Difficult or dynamic. As reported by Ukrinform, in Bakhmut sector, the defense forces of Ukraine achieved success east of Klinchivka and Andriivka, Donetsk region. Okay, but now you're not. Seems like. So that the relevant statement made by Donetsk Regional Military Administration, As of today, October 29, 2023, 82 children have already been evacuated. 13 of them have been evacuated today, together with their parents or legal guardians. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, a total of 213 persons are yet to be evacuated. A reminder that on October 28, 2023, 4 police officers were injured. So let's go back to this and we can check it out here. So the Russians, I think, they according to the Ukrainian media outlets, not with the Russians. The Russians don't give me updates on this, and I'm not looking for that because the Ukrainians give me what I need. Why? You already know the double speak they use, and the other ones are using it too. So, but these guys are pronunciated or more pronunciated. So here, as I said, here's Kharkiv. And you have Kupiansk, and then you have Bakhmut in the middle, or Artemovsk, and then you have here Zaporozhye, where nothing happens. It's just the Ukrainians are, unfortunately, take their children and the personnel away from here too. And then you got Kherson, where I covered it this morning, and Odessa was hit. Some shipyard, how do you call it? Location where what was hit over there. Supposedly they just injured some people. Yeah, okay, but a lot of things happen here on the Kherson front. So wherever you look, according to the Ukrainians, things are not going that well for them. As I said about, I don't know, maybe a week ago, the front is collapsing. And why? Because these guys, the Ukrainians, are taking their children. I always have a problem finding that fucking word, I tell you that. I always have a problem with that. What's the word? Evacuation. I don't know, man. It's a word I can't remember. Whenever I have to say it, it's something else, not evacuation. Take them out, leave them, fuck them, or I don't know. It's just, whatever, man. Evacuation. Why? Because I'm reading this garbage here, so I can remember evacuation. Good job. So, yeah. They are, the problem is in the entire front. When you evacuate people, you evacuate them, you see the word, and I use it even, I don't use it only in my head, because you memorize better when you pronounce it, when you hear it as well, but it seems like there's a, they don't make contact most of the time, something here, have to do some punching, maybe, they're gonna stick together. Anyway, my friends, I've been trying that for years, so it doesn't work. So here we have it. I think the front will collapse in, I don't know, no more than a week. I mean, I said this a week ago, or 5 days, 4 days ago. I said a week and a half. I gave myself 2 weeks. I think we're gonna hear a lot of, okay, guys, we're gonna retreat, but they're gonna call it euphemistically differently, not a retreat, a reposition, or re-DDD, or just leave it for a while. We just set a trap, something like that, when actually, the word is retreat. Thank you very much. I hope this I hope this thing ends today. or yesterday, right? So for me, I'm not celebrating because the Ukrainians are retreating. I'm hoping that this guy's gonna say, okay, stop the war, let's talk. That's what I'm hoping. And I don't think that the Ukrainians will be able to push the Russians anywhere. Therefore, is when the Ukrainians will collapse, totally collapse, then these guys are gonna talk. Until then, they're not gonna talk. And the Ukrainians will not push the Russians back. Okay, 99.9%. So if the Ukrainians are pushing somewhere and think, oh shit, that's going to prolong the war. Why? Because the end game here, or the end, is going to be when the Russians get. I'm sorry, that's my assessment. Because if the Russians get, in the cords like rope-a-dope, this guy's going to, get more troops on the front. Right now, as I said, they fight maybe with 5% of their potential. What, 600,000 people at the most? Out of 40 million that they can immediately call to arms. I mean, it's kind of, that's why they call it an operation, special operation, and not a war. Because it's not a war. It's not a general mobilization. General mobilization will them up, but no, they don't do that. So that's why when they say, well, it's total war, there's no total Krieg. No, that's not. So anyway, my friends, here it is, and we're waiting. So that's why sometimes I say, well, maybe these guys are going to sue for peace, and the whole garbage is going to stop right there. No more killing and so on. But no, it seems like the guys in the West, they still make a profit, and they will not sue for peace. And it seems like a lot of companies are making big profits, so the business is good for them. So why should I stop? Why should I stop, right? I make profits. Those are some people over there that for them is just numbers. They don't do anything. They, oh my God, 3,000 people died, 200,000 people died. No, they don't look at them as people. They look at them as different. And otherwise, anyway, all this should have been avoided with those Minsk agreements. But Ukraine did not want to follow through with that. So they said, screw you. And Germany and France was like, we were the guarantors, but hey, we failed. And America did not even sign anything. Why? Or the Great Britain. Why? Because they knew. They knew what's going to happen. And the Europeans were just, as Victoria Nuland said, Europe or the European Union. That's true, because that's what European Union is for the US. A little lapdog. Puck, 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 puck. I don't want you anymore. You, come over here. I want to pat you. No, boop. So, stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.